evening, friends. My name is Mr. B, your old friend, Mr. B. Take a look at what we got over here, the section of the house over here. This is Poli-Ticking with Mr. B. Good evening. I want to say thank you very much for coming in and watching in. Before we go any further, we owe it to the people who died for it, who sacrificed for it, and their families. Thank you very much. It is time to say the Pledge of Allegiance, that beautiful flag of ours. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. My goodness, thank you very much. And thank you to all of the countless people that have sacrificed and given for that. We have got one hell of a good show coming up tonight. Nicholas, good to see you. We are going to bring in some Phil. Let's start out. I got somebody going to be calling the regulars. We're going to be having some panelists in the evening talking with stuff. I'd like to first introduce a fellow who has his own show here. I believe it's on Monday nights. Fellow that shouldn't need any introduction, but I'm going to introduce him anyway. His name is Nicholas Parsons. Nick, how are you? Thank you very much for coming in. How are you this evening, sir?
Mr. B, I'm really well. Thank you for having me tonight, and congratulations on your show here on the network, sir.
Thank you very much. I'm so glad to have you in here, and I know I deeply respect you for a number of things. You've had a number of trials and tribulations that you've been dealing with in your life, and here you are. You're coming up smelling like a Rollers brother, and I tell you, if I had half the gonads you do, I'd be a happy man. Thank you very much for coming in and being a part of the regulars for this evening.
Hey, dude, I appreciate it.
Now, where are you from, sir?
I'm from Fall River, Mass.
Okay, so you're not halfway across the nation or whatever.
No.
Have someone from halfway across the nation, but it's just how it works. But Fall River, Massachusetts, a lot of things going on down there, a lot of problems going on that way as well. And as far as I can tell, you're doing a lot of things that are working on getting people out of it and helping them out of it and getting them back up to being human again. And we're going to be touching on those qualities and so forth in a moment. But I do want to take and bring in our other guest here, the next of the regulars, a fellow all the way out from Winchendon, Massachusetts, guy by the name of Daniel Main. Daniel, can we come on over here? Thank you very much. Now, here's a fellow who works for a living. It's just a regular person. That's why I call you folks the regulars. It's going to be regular guys. We're not dealing with people, $1 million salary think tank morons. No, regular people. Daniel, tell us more about where you're from and what you do.
Thank you, sir. Hey, congratulations on the show. Yeah, like you said, I'm from Winchendon. Been at the same gig for 26 years. 3 boys. Father of 3 boys. Married 10 years. Oldest son is in Fort Bragg. Middle son is one away from an Eagle Scout, and the other one just joined the troop. So, well on their way.
Your oldest son, please extend my deepest thanks for his service.
No,
I genuinely appreciate it. Now, you are in the world of the building materials, are you not, sir?
That is it. I work at Mackey Building Centers.
And you must be up to your ass in alligators with things the way things are happening now.
I'll tell you, ever since COVID, it's just been nonstop busy.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, to what would you attribute that?
The government handing out money hand over fist.
Yeah. Okay. That I suppose enough said with that. Well, that having going into this, I want to pick up now. Danny, I don't know if you had heard or you would realize what's going on with our other member of the regulars, Mr. Parsons. Mr. Parsons was down Fall River, Massachusetts, and Mr. Parsons has had a life that's been more on the edge than other people, but he's raging against it, and he's doing the right things to help people out of their conundrums and so forth, and out of their demons and back into life. And by the way, as I understand it, sir, you deal with a bipolar condition. Is that correct?
Me?
Yes.
Yes. I'm actually diagnosed with manic bipolar.
Okay. Now, are you being managed with any sort of pharmaceutical, or are you managing this?
No. I'm strictly doing it on my own. When I had first started, and I was diagnosed with the anxiety and manic bipolar and all that above, they did have me on certain medications, and I didn't want medications, period. Nothing at all. So I had to go through, different techniques and whatnot to see what exactly worked for me. And it was a process. I will tell you that it was a process, and a lot of it is still a process today.
But you are having success with it, sir, and God love you for it. God bless you. And not only that, but you're, as I understand it, you're also helping a lot of people out from their rabbit holes with the same thing, helping them out, and that's amazing. Now, the first thing we've got to discuss here falls right into where we're talking about. Subject number one for the evening: fentanyl and illegal drugs and so forth. Our children, our families, our American way of life is under attack. What do we do about this bullshit?
Well, first of all, there's not much you can do if you're going to have everybody against each other, right? You need to get somebody, everybody on the exact same page, because you're going to have sides wanting to actually do something to help, and you're just going to have others that want to keep collecting the money in their pockets, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, absolutely.
And that is one of the most crucial things that I believe that we're going through today. And it's actually pretty nuts for somebody like me, because as far as the fentanyl thing goes, I want to touch on that. I'm not much of a news person. It seems like the same shit, just a different day for me. But I was walking across the living room a couple of weeks ago, and they were just showing the fake cassette fentanyl pills. And they're going on about, this is what's happening, like, we can't believe this. Listen to me. I've been clean and sober now for 6 years. Okay, December 10th just made my 6-year mark. And it is sad to see that these guys are just getting the fucking hint of it now.
Wow.
Because these things were already around then. So they're so behind on everything. But are they really this question? I think known all along.
Can I stop you there for a moment?
Go ahead.
Dan, you've got something you wanted to chime in on. Let's please go ahead.
So, as far as the fentanyl goes, who's the major supplier and donor of fentanyl? Who manufactures the fentanyl? China. China manufactures it. We're at war with China, and they haven't fired a single shot. How many thousands of people are dead every year from fentanyl? It comes from the southern border. While our border agents are busy dealing with asylum seekers, they're taken away from other spots that they know the fentanyl is coming in from. It comes from China up through the cartels of Mexico. Everybody's getting rich off it. Our children are dying off it. China's winning a war that they haven't even fired a single shot from.
Mm-hmm.
That's where it's got to start.
Just for a second. I want to take a moment. I want to recognize our board from the viewers is just lighting up with comments. You can see. I do not know these people. They may be some people from you. I don't know, but we're getting an awful lot of remarks and comments and so forth about this. So let's keep going with this, please, very, very much.
We got some viewers today.
I'm sorry?
So I said, we're going to have some viewers today.
Good.
So go ahead, Dan.
Yeah, please, go ahead.
That's pretty much where it's at. The only fentanyl that's getting stopped at the border is what the cartels want to be stopped, so that they can have the attention taken over at a different spot. And then it's just coming in piles in different areas. The only thing that's stopping is whatever the cartels want to be stopped. Every time we're trying to, and again, unfortunately, our children, again, are being killed, from fentanyl overdoses. And like I said, China's winning a war that they haven't even fired a shot from.
All right. Just please read weird. Okay, let's try this again. I'll use Mr. Tongue and Mr. Lips to talk this time. Sorry. this leads me to the question at hand. Are the Mexican cartels simply nothing more than a tool for the Chinese?
Right now, they're being used as a tool.
Yeah.
100%. You know, and of course, as in typical China fashion, they don't care what happens to them.
All right. Nick,
you know,
thoughts?
I honestly just want to say, you know, I mean, like everything really does have a you know, a start as to where it all begins. You know what I mean? As far as like the China and the cartels go, you know what I mean? Like, you know, okay, it started from somewhere, but I can honestly, I know people making this shit in their basement, okay? But in their basement, in backyard.
I believe that.
You know,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? To me, like, as far as that goes, you know, it's whatever. To me, it's to people in your backyard. You know, you know what I mean? And those are the people that we really need to pay attention. Start with them, and then you work your way out. Because we're not going to get nowhere, especially with everything going on with China, with the cartels. You need to take these guys out first in order to get to the big guys. And let me tell you something right now. As far as I'm concerned, it seems like nobody wants to touch them. Own people want to touch them. Why? Because they're greedy. They make money off of the pharmaceutical companies. They make money off of people's fucking deaths. Let me tell you, I woke up this afternoon after taking a nap, and I found out that a good friend of mine lost her life this morning. Okay. And, you know, this is the thing with being an ex-drug addict or knowing what people are going through. This is the shit that I have to deal with on a daily basis. Okay. It doesn't get no easier, you know, so it's kind of like, you know, oh, Nick, you know, you've been sober for this long, you know, good for you. And, you know what I mean? I might have made, you know, certain arrangements or changes in my life, you know, for the better. But if you can call it karma, you can call it bad luck, you can call it whatever you want. But I deal with shit every single day. And it's not ever going to go away unless if our people that we're counting and depending on do something about it. And I just want to say that real quick. I can't fucking stand these recovery centers that are half of these recovery centers that are out there. I've been there. I know. Okay. And it seems like, oh, well, you know, let's do charities and this, that, and the fucking other thing. Where the fuck is this money going? Okay, you guys, yes, you're pocketing it. Mm-hmm. You're pocketing it as you're waking up every day, getting another dollar in your pocket, and another body is dropping. You guys can save them. You have the tools and resources in front of you to do something about it. I know a fucking doctor. If you were to Google his name right now, the first thing that's going to come up is Lifesaver or Pill Pusher. He's right in Fall River, Massachusetts. They found my father dead in his basement door downstairs back in 2012, okay? This is how I know about this shit. I have met these people from a very young age in life when I never asked for it up until now. And isn't it fucking crazy that these are the people where I feel like I have a normal relationship with? A lot of people, okay, want help. They're judged by so many people. Oh, well, if you didn't fucking do that, you know what I mean, you wouldn't be where you're at today. Very true. That is so true. But what happens to the mental aspect of all of it? Okay, who's the one who put the trigger or the thought in somebody's head in order for them to turn to do different things? Whereas everywhere they turned, they had nothing. So what do? They turn to something that's going to numb it. And by the time it comes time for them to get help, it's too late.
Can I ask something here? It's obvious that there is a very high cost here. And I'm talking about money. I'm not talking about the richest order of rolls. I'm talking about the human cost, the families, and so forth. more and more it seems to me like there's only one surefire way to stem the flow or slow this down so much that maybe we might still have a chance, but I don't think anybody would do it. And maybe I sound like a radical, but you know what? I don't give a fiddler's fart. I'm going to tell you, I think they ought to bring back the death penalty and extend it out to drug dealers. Why? Because they're killing our children. They're killing our parents. They're killing our sisters and brothers.
Can I say one more thing? What about doctors? Doctors are just as bad.
If they're doing it intentionally, yes.
Yep, and they're out there. Doctors are just as bad, just as much drug dealers as the rest of them. Why? Because there's a cutoff point. There is. So if somebody goes into a freaking surgery and shit like that, and it's a major surgery. All right, they do it for minor surgeries too, but that's irrelevant. Okay, when you're having a major surgery, now your milligrams are going to be up more. All right. Do you want to know his name? His name is Dr. Claude Curran. All right, that's his name. Somebody just asked me. All right,
okay.
And let me tell you something. All right, I've known about this guy my whole life. He was my father's doctor. Okay, and even when I was in Florida with my father could just pick up a phone and say, "Hey, I need some Klonopins. Hey, I need some freaking Suboxone," or like whatever the case is, and then whatever magic happens, boop, there's the freaking script down there. And it came to the point where it's later on in life, it just so happens that I get the call from the cops, and that's where they found my father's body. He was trying to break into his doctor's office, trying to get some shelter after I had just seen him literally just a couple of hours beforehand. But that goes to answer your question in the chat. That's the name of the doctor. Yeah.
Dan,
so how does it end though? Where does it stop?
So I will tell you this, okay? If you're somebody like me, you just take an independent route to try and help these people. Want to know why? Because I was asked numerous times by the feds. They actually came in. The feds came and picked me up. All right, I was getting arrested a few years ago, not knowing what the hell I was being arrested for. And they had me at the Fall River Police Station on a DNR, which is a do not release. And they told me that the feds are here to talk to me. They wanted me to be to be a witness in this case, so they could withdraw his license from Mass and Rhode Island. And I told them, no, man. Why? Because I've known 3/4 of this guy's patients. I grew up around a good majority of them. Okay? And the fear of the fact of the matter is that it could take one script of whatever he wanted to write down on there for somebody to come and probably try to whack me out. So I didn't do it. All right, yeah, turn your oxygen up. It's crazy, man. It's absolutely crazy. It's a fear, man. And I can't be doing that. So it's my
thing I can connect to it. Like, recently I had a surgery where, they prescribe you the oxycodone, and, after 3 days of being on it, I knew I didn't want to be on it anymore.
Dude,
I tried to come off it, right off the bat. Unfortunately, the pain was too much, so I stayed on it for a couple of weeks. When I tell you, after 2 weeks, and then stopped taking it, in the dope sickness that you get from taking these pharmaceuticals, it's disgusting. Like, why are these things allowed?
All right, and this is how bad people get. All right, yeah. Whereas you don't get an oxycodone, you don't get a freaking OxyContin. What else can we do? You got people out there experimenting with Latuda. You know what Latuda is?
I have no idea.
That's an antidepressant, dude.
Yeah.
If you take so much of that, it gives you like a drunk feeling.
Oof.
Seroquel, it makes you feel like you got a hangover the next day. Freaking Neurontin, also known as gabapentin or street name Johnnies. You got people taking this shit just because of how it makes you feel and whatnot. It's crazy on how people nowadays are just looking for that freaking, hour or 2 minute high.
Yeah.
Can I chime in here with something?
Go ahead.
Back in 1997, late December of 97, I had gotten an injury when I was working. I used to work as a firefighter EMT, and I had been working for a private company in the Boston area, and I got injured. And it was a career-ending injury. And it had to do basically with a nerve injury and so forth. And it was very painful. And it's one of these things where they can just only do so much for you and then give you pain medication and send you home, and that's it. And they gave me these things, the Neurontin I had, and the hydrocodone, hydromorphone, whatever it is, and all of these things. And for all of the time that I was on them and whatever else, by the grace of God, I never wound up addicted to these things. Mm-hmm. But pain medications don't do jack shit for me anymore. If anything at all, the only pain medication that really does anything is Dilaudid, which is, I'm told, it's like the strongest thing. It's like a synthetic morphine.
Morphine, yep.
Okay, and that's the only thing that does any pain medication at all for me anymore. So thank God I didn't wind up, like other people unfortunately did.
You got to remember, a lot of these pharmaceuticals, and it's a little off subject, but it's same token. A lot of these pharmaceuticals, they put a price on lives. Like, as long as they sell so many of these things. I mean, look at Pfizer. Look at Pfizer had, one of the biggest lawsuits in American history. Because they were bribing. I forget exactly. They were bribing doctors to prescribe things, even though they knew it was addictive. And again, they put numbers on lives, and they said, well, as long as we sell X amount, we're going to get billions of dollars. So if we're only paying out millions and we're bringing in billions, what's the difference? They're making their millions and they're getting their bonuses, and so people are dead. They don't care. The pharmacies don't care.
Nick, I gotta ask you this: the things that you've gone through in your life, it must have been. I mean, hell on earth would have probably been an improvement at some point in time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Considering this, how hard is it for you to help other people realize the benefits and the salvation that you have?
If that question, I'd probably answer differently another day. But right now, I feel like, I feel like I'm not doing enough.
Nick, as long as you're helping one person, kid. If you're helping one person, that's enough.
Right, and that's usually my mentality every day. I could have 70,000 people. As long as I get through to one, my job is done. And to hit somebody, that was really, that I was really close to at one point in time, was suffering, who also had another past addiction, and, she ended up getting well. She ended up getting married. She ended up losing her husband. He was an armed forces veteran. Okay. And, to hear that she ended up going off the wagon, and, ended up passing away. She's got a son that she's leaving behind.
Yeah.
Okay. So, it's important for me, if you watch Unboxed Thoughts, to put everything out there, because I always like to tell people, I want to be your example. All right. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I'll let you in on a little hint. Not every week when I do my show, it's not so much of me telling my story to people, but guys, my mother watches the show every Monday. I just want to let you guys know that. Yes. And
we got less than 2 minutes now, I believe, before we're going to be taking a break. But We've already gone through half an hour of our 1 hour program. I've got two other subjects that we can hit. Now, I'd like you guys to step in on this. Which would you rather tackle? Either one first: the COVID-19 issues or the woke culture? Daniel, what do you think?
I was gonna say we might as well we'll save a lot of time for the COVID nonsense. So let's hit the woke nonsense real quick.
You done with that, Nick?
I second that. Yeah. Okay, that COVID thing can go forever.
Yeah.
We'll be coming back after the break. We've got about another minute and a half or so. Blaze will be giving us a little bit of a break. We'll be able to go and warm up my coffee. My coffee cup, by the way, is from the Zeb's General Store up in North Conway, New Hampshire. Zeb's General Store. They have a lot of these wonderful things. A lot of them made in China, of all things. Imagine that, all our tourist dollars going over to China through Zeb's General Store. But anyway,
hey, cheers to you guys.
It's there. It's everywhere, and we just can't seem to get away.
North Conway is God's country.
And I do want to say thank you very much to all the people we've got that have showed up to view this and are participating in the message board and whatnot. It's time for a break, so gentlemen, I'll see you in about another 3 to 5 minutes or so. Adios.
All right.
I'll see you, Mom.
Hey, this is Jerry from the Neutral Corner on FFN Media. Every Thursday night, 7 to 8, catch my show live. We are talking with legends, we're talking with professionals, we're talking with amateurs, we're also talking about gyms and the different programs they have. You can catch us live on FFN Media, 7 to 8 p.m. Not only can you catch us live, you can actually ask questions in the comments and interact with our guests. Hope to see you then.
Hey guys, Nick Parsons here. Come check my show Unbox Thoughts out. Live every Monday from 7 to 8 p.m. on the FFN Radio Network page.
Why do you believe what you believe? Because at some point in your life, you trusted the information that somebody was giving you. And that someone you trusted told you that a car was a car, a tree was a tree, a bird was a bird, the blue stuff above you is the sky. And that's the way that we began to determine what we believe to be a fact. Most of the things that we believe to be a fact in our lives are told to us through our stories or the news that we hear. So my question would be, if they were deceiving you with the stories they tell you, would you be able to recognize that?
And here we are, ladies and gentlemen. I want to say thank you very much for coming in, and I want to welcome back our friends, Nick and Dan. Thank you very much for coming in, boys. Good to see you. And I hope you had a good day. And by the way, while I'm drinking inside this cup, I know Daniels looked like you were drinking something very nice. Nick, I have no idea what you're having, but
Coffee.
I'm sorry.
Coffee.
Same here. I have this delightful stuff. Cafe Caribe. That it's like an espresso, only damn good.
Yeah.
I want to come over to your house one of these days and have one of those coffees you have, and I'll tell you. Or those Reuben sandwiches you make.
Just one?
Just one.
All right. Well, we did say that we were going to come back and do some more discussion, and we will pick up this discussion again a little bit late at a later date again. I believe I'd like to have you guys back on, and we go back into more of this stuff. We may not be able to solve the world's problems with the drugs and so forth, but at least we can get a little bit more out in it and get more people talking, get more of the regulars going on. So I believe so. We got some time over here. We're going to change our pace. Go on to the woke culture, everybody.
Hey,
Something you must be pretty damn tired of right now. I know I'm tired of getting told, you can't do this, you can't do that. Oh, you have to be open and accepting of this and that and whatever else, but only if. My ass. I'm sorry. I've had it. And there's plenty of reasons why. I don't care what you are in a LGBTQ, MOUSE, plus, minus, equals, or divided sign, whatever the hell it is. If you are, you are. I have not got a prejudiced bone in my body. I don't. Okay? But I don't need to have someone cramming something down my throat that, frankly, I don't have anything to do with. As far as what about the woke culture irritates you or offends you, this happening offended me. This lady here and her family built the company. They weren't doing it. They weren't slaves making pancakes. No, they took her image off, took the family name off, and did this. And why? The Pearl Milling Company. I don't know about you, but I ain't getting a pearl necklace out of pancake box. Thank you very much. I don't know where pearl came from, unless they were thinking quietly of Pearl Bailey. But you know what? I grew up seeing this. It was a brand that I recognized. I lived with.
Yeah, Aunt Jemima and Uncle Ben.
We knew it was the good one when we saw Aunt Jemima. Like, oh, we got the good serum.
Yeah,
we didn't get the generic stuff.
So the Uncle Ben.
Right.
Someone saw the need. There's a lot of people that have been off-put by what they have done. And there's a fellow, you want to talk about entrepreneurial spirit? Company called Cousin T's. And he came out with his own thing. Pancake syrup, pancake mix, other products and so forth, and it's selling. And it's going. But this woke garbage that, oh, well, we have to get rid of this because it is insulting or this or that or whatever.
I mean, I'm kind of offended by his pancakes.
Then starve.
Right? You're not going to eat what we make on the dinner table. You starve.
Right. I don't care whether what color a face is that's on the box. I want what's inside the box to taste good and to be good for my body when I put in it.
Right.
Okay.
You just got to remember, Jeff, there's no such thing as the reverse racism that they say. It's not reverse racism. It's racism. Yeah, it's just plain racism. And that's what it is. What is the problem with having these black families on their it's their products? What is the problem?
Right, absolutely. But this goes beyond all of that. Beyond all the different other things. Now there's got to be something that probably sticks in both of your gentlemen's craws about what they've come out and said. Oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. They've even got things where they're bringing 8-year-old children to drag.
That's where I'm at. And I don't want to chime in on you, Nick, but I'm a realist. I want everybody to have freedom. So, I don't need them to agree with me. I just need them to leave me alone. I leave them alone, like we've left them alone for all these years. And that's kind of the problem is we've left them alone. And now all of a sudden, now it's going out of control. Instead of making fun of the things we used to make fun of, now it's not allowed anymore. So I'm at the point where I'm just laughing at things where I just I just want to be left alone by these people. I leave them alone, they leave me alone. My line in the sand, not my Obama line in the sand where it keeps moving. My actual line in the sand is the kids. They are destroying kids right now. Never mind with the mask mandates, with the Zoom teaching that they were doing. Never mind all that. They're telling kids, number one, that it's not okay to be white. It's happening all over the place. You can agree with it or disagree with it, but it's happening all over the place, just not in so many words. Number two, they're trying to tell these kids that there's something they're not. Ken, now you can be Tina, and I won't tell your parents about it. Like, that's the shit. That's where I'm drawing my line, is now you're going after the kids, and I've got a problem.
So I'm going to ask you a question, Dan, if that's all right.
Oh, sure.
That's such a problem.
Why is what such a problem? That they're going after my kids?
Not necessarily your kids. Okay, I'm talking about more of like a an in-home, like if there's a parent, okay, and the parent is, let's just say bisexual, okay. Yeah. You find anything wrong with those parents telling those kids that they have the freedom to do whichever they want?
No.
Or is it just okay, whatever you want in your
about
home?
It, or is it being forced on them?
Right. No. It's asked, giving them the freedom.
If the kids are asking about it, then tell them the truth.
Okay. I just wanted to ask.
A point of order here. Okay. Yep. I think where the problem here lies is, where do parents figure that it is appropriate to start telling their child about sexuality?
Right. It's not the school's choice to tell me when my kids need to have those conversations. Right. It's me. And that's not what's happening. And it's happening all over the country, specifically in Virginia. You go look at what's going on in Virginia, and it's disgusting. And the parents are standing up from it, but the school boards just sit there, noses up in the air. You elected us to do this. And that's the sad thing is we put them in there.
And I just want to point out too that I always like to tell everybody, like, just keep in mind and anything going on in life that every situation is different. There's different perspectives and I agree with you that it shouldn't be taught in schools. If something like that is going to be happening, it should be home based between a child and a parent once a certain age comes. Having said that, okay, especially with like my generation and the generation having kids below me nowadays, y'all are fucking lazy. You guys don't even want to give your kids the time of day to have a conversation with this. You know what I mean? So it's back and forth as to what gives the school the right to say, hey, you know what, we're going to teach this here. You know what I mean? Because the parents are lacking at home, or when it could take something like, hey, you know what I mean? Like, we're reaching this type of topic in our class. Give the parents homework to fucking do. That way they can take care of it. You know what I mean? I remember I was in when I was in medical assistant school. Every day we would go to class for anatomy and physiology, and then my teacher would always ask us to pick out like certain topics going on in the world, and let's all have a debate about it. Not to judge anybody, but let's have a debate about it. You know what I mean? Let's see where we can learn off of each other, or if there's something that I don't, or I can feed into, or sink my teeth into. You know what I mean? So I agree with you as school goes, but parents at home really need to start opening their eyes and expanding their relationship with their children into teaching them these things themselves. Or else what happens?
Of course, I can't speak for other parents. I can only speak for what goes on in my house.
Right.
Like I said, I've got a 25-year-old that's almost 10 years in the military. I've got one that's one away from being an Eagle Scout. I got one well on his way of being, coming in Eagle Scout. Like, what goes on in my house, obviously, is a different story.
Right.
I know what my kids are into. I know what kind of grades they have. I know who their friends are. I'm not here to be their friend right now. When they get older, like my 25-year-old, he's more my buddy these days. These two,
Yes.
they're not my buddies. They're my children. You know, and what I try to explain to them is I can't make decisions for you. I can only try to give you the ammo to make the proper decision. I can't make it for you. You know, it's up to you to make the proper decision. I can't tell you not to go do drugs. I can tell you that, but I can't force you to do it because the world is the world. I can't tell you. I can say, hey, don't try alcohol until, you're 21. I can say that. Doesn't mean it's going to happen,
Right. Yeah. And I completely agree with you on that. You know what I mean? But you see, you're handling what's inside your house, though. Exactly. As a good man and a parent, you're handling what goes on, and this is where everybody else is lacking.
In my opinion, we need more of it.
Yeah. You know what I mean? And coming from me, because I deal with straight, gay. The transsexual thing that that's happening nowadays.
That's what I'm saying, Nick. I don't care what somebody is. I could care less what they are. I say it all the time. Again, I'm very much into freedom. I want my gay friends to get married and smoke pot and shoot guns and do whatever the fuck they want to do.
Yes, sir.
Whatever you want to do, you guys. As long as you're not hurting anybody and you're not hurting kids, I don't care what you do. As long as you're leaving me alone, because I'm not hurting anybody, I'm not looking to tell anyone else how to. Oh, hello, Mr. B.
Oh, nice of you to join the conversation.
I'm not looking to tell anybody else how to live their lives, but at the same time, I don't want to be infringed on myself. Never mind from the government. I'm talking by even people in the same town. I just want to be left alone.
I'm sorry about what happened, gentlemen. We had a technical problem. All of these wonderful bottles and cans that got spinning around up in the sky can't stop the internet from getting interrupted for me.
Well, you are up in New Hampshire. I mean, did you get the cow running again to get the to get the mill going? And
did you ever teach you how to milk a cow? Here, grab a thumb. I'll show you.
Yep.
All right. I'm sorry I missed what was going on, but it seems like we really are delving into exactly the right kind of discussion here. That the question I want to find out is now, after all is said and done, they've gone around all over these places, all over the nation, tearing down all of these statues that we had, monuments that were up for people for whatever reason. How has it changed our lives? How has it made anything at all any better?
Hasn't changed. Nothing changes. The only thing that happens is now that they don't have to look at that statue, and now they'll be mad about something else.
What is that saying? The more things change, the more they remain the same.
Yeah, exactly.
And for me personally, what I mean, it's like, I'll be honest right now. I mean, there was a point in time where it's like, I had a gay phobia. You know what I mean? It was just like, no, we don't exist. We don't exist. And let me tell you something, man. It's from the people I've met, and it's a story for another day. But like, to overcome that fear, it's like, we're, as much as we're really different, as long as we've got similarities, it really doesn't really matter. You know what I mean?
I just wish they'd stop tearing all the bullshit down and go about it the right way and just petition shit like that. You know what I mean? Just, if you want these statues taken down, all it takes is signatures. You don't have to go out there and break the law and do it and freak out about it. Petition. Get like-minded people, sign the petitions, change the laws. It's an amazing concept.
No, Jerry, I'm not afraid to have you on. I love seeing you in the comments.
I was just going to say, there's a person up here that says JJ Souza. Must be afraid to have me on. I want to address this person personally as
that's Jerry.
Is that a Mr. or Mrs.? I don't know. Souza. Is it a Mr.? I believe.
No, it's Jerry. It's Jerry Souza. He does the Neutral Corner here on the network, and old mentor of mine. As far as baseball goes, a great motivator for me when I was starting my my whole rehab stint and whatnot, and I still keep in conversation with him today. Jerry's good people.
Oh, excellent. Thank you, Mr. Suze. I'd be more than happy to schedule on for another show coming up. And all the way, ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome Jesse Lawler from Waldoboro, Maine. Thank you very much for coming in, Jesse. God bless you. I'm glad to see you. I hope your son is doing better. Her son has a very serious GI tract problem, and they're a wonderful family, a good, salt of the earth people. And it's sad to see someone suffering like he is, but we'll see. Hopefully they can get it figured out and get him straightened out. But anyway, okay, I'm sorry. Back to things. We've got about 12 minutes left in the show going on. The woke culture, it doesn't seem like it's going to get any better sooner. And every time you turn around, it seems like when something blows up in their face, they're turning around and pointing a finger back where? At former President Donald Trump. Why?
He runs so much space in their head, it's glorious.
I'm sorry?
I said he rents so much space in their head, it's glorious. Yeah, it's the lies that you see on mainstream media. Oh, he hates Mexicans, he hates gays, he hates everybody, he hates women. It's just absurd. It's just absurd. I'm trying to listen to that mainstream media. If Don Lemon didn't say it, well, it mustn't be true.
From your aspect, Nick, I'm going to ask you: have you seen anything of the woke culture movement or whatever else? Has it done anything to help people that are suffering addictions?
No.
Homelessness?
No. Nope. Not a goddamn thing. Not a goddamn thing. And there's a couple of other groups out there as well. You know what I mean? Who I just feel like they just put these groups together just to get a good fucking name on them.
You know what I mean?
To see them like you know what I mean? Like
Black Lives Matter.
Like I'm sorry. Yes, you know what I mean. I'm sorry to say it, guys. But the Black Lives Matter thing, guys, you're labeling one particular race. We all matter. How can you come up and have a fucking Black Lives Matter when we all matter? Okay, because I will tell you this. All right, I'll just throw this out here. Okay, you guys will probably agree with me, agree to disagree. But you know what? Me personally, I like history. Okay, and I thank the blacks for a majority of what's going on. All right, down to the Native Americans. Okay, you got a bunch of white pilgrims out here. You shoot the Native Americans, and then you want them to sit down and have a fucking meal with you. Okay, you have Christopher Columbus come over here, bringing slaves into our country, and you have a fucking holiday named after him.
Oh.
All right. All right. The black man could read in the Civil War. Oh, we can't fight our own battles, but I'll tell you what, Mr. Black Man, you go and help us fight this war. If you live, you will then earn your freedom. Could you imagine if that fucking happened to any of us here? It's a 50-50.
Well,
50-50.
I was gonna say there's so much to go over in that. Like,
yes, dude.
We don't have that kind of time.
Yeah, there is no time for it. But you know what? It's all led up to here, dude. You know what I mean? It's all led get out of here with that Black Lives Matter shit. We all matter in one way,
as far as the Black Lives Matter goes. I mean, the founders are absolute crooks. You know, they're $6 million house. Look how that $30-something million they invested in the stock market. Like, they're not helping any Black lives anywhere. They're only helping themselves. It's a total scam.
Yeah, I agree with you. And just to elaborate on the whole Trump thing real quick, man, I think it was either Mr. Jim or Mr. D on the show last night. You know what I mean? They put it in perspective. Trump was a phenomenal president, but what ruined him? He didn't know how to talk to people. He didn't know how to talk. Whereas, like, if you sat down with like Barack Obama or something like that, he'd tell you off probably in the most polite way ever where you like,
They're professional talkers.
did you just diss me?
Where Trump's a businessman, where he's just telling you you're fired, you're not, you're doing this.
Yeah, go fuck yourself, take your ball and go home.
I have to respectfully disagree with you, Nick.
Go ahead, man.
The man being the nature of Donald Trump, being a businessman, he doesn't have time for bullshit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why it's not that they're not going to sit around and placate. Like I myself, I don't sugarcoat shit and tell you it's Christmas fudge. I've been told many a times people don't want to talk with me because I'm so curt about things. World, no, I just don't have time for bullshit.
Don't have time for the nonsense.
And I agree with you on that. And I think there was a little bit of miscommunication there because I agree with you 100%. He is a businessman. When Trump ran for presidency, you had Democrats voting Republican to get his ass in there. Okay, it's on
the funny
paper.
Thing is, of course, I vote in the primaries and whatnot. I didn't vote for him in the primaries. Like in 2016, I didn't vote for Trump in the primaries.
Right.
Like this freaking clown. You serious? And then of course it was him or Hillary. And of course, obviously you can't vote for the murderer. So I voted for Trump.
Watch out for those emails.
And yeah, exactly. Like, thank God for Trump. Thank God I voted for that guy. The policies he implemented, I just wish he would have done it trying to go through Congress, but again, you got, half of them were friggin' rhinos in there, and you wouldn't have got half of his shit through if he didn't do executive orders. But the problem with the executive orders is once you do that, the next guy that comes in, he does it like that, and then all your shit's gone. I just wish we could go back to, stop this executive order shit and go through the proper channels like it's supposed to. Instead of every 4 years, you get these, this ridiculousness again.
No, but that just goes to show that, the people were once afraid of another politician coming into office. And, Trump doesn't take no shit.
They were afraid of the non-politician coming into office.
Like, you know what? He's a businessman. He's a businessman, so let's get him in there. He knows his way around. You know what I mean? Let's get him in. Why? Because he wants to go throw up.
Lost a rigged election.
Yeah. A little rocket man or something. Okay, so his words were on par. But guess what? That's not who you voted for. You didn't vote for somebody like that. This is what you get. Now, all of a sudden, he's throwing this out. Now you want to go against them?
Yeah, if you were attacked all day, every day, by 17 different networks, and even Fox at times would attack the guy. If you were attacked all day, every day, you'd get a little pissy every now and then too, Yeah.
Oh, yeah, dude. I do. There's only so much that we could take, dude. You know what I mean? And some of us take it more than others. But when we reach that point, watch out. Again, and of course, we've gone way off topic, but we will talk about Trump for a second while we wait for Mr. B to come back. Like he called women pigs. He called women pigs. No, he didn't call women pigs. He called Rosie O'Donnell a pig. You know what I mean? Like he called her specifically a pig, like because she's an asshole. Right. He hates Mexicans. He hates gays. Like he was one of the first one to have openly gay members of his cabinet. For his presidency, he's one of the first. He hates gays. He's a white supremacist. He hates Jews. But he let his daughter marry a Jew, and he has Jewish grandchildren, but he's this white supremacist. Like the narrative is so ridiculous, but they believe it. They're like, oh, tell me more about how much Trump hates Jews, because that's what I want to hear, Right.
It's unbelievable. You said pigs on Facebook. Yeah, I got in jail for a week. My main account is still in jail. I'm constantly in jail for 30 days. I talked about Hunter Biden's laptop. Oh my God. I called the China virus, which hopefully we're going to talk about here. I called it the China virus, 30-day ban. God forbid. I said, oh my God, it looks like this thing came out of Wuhan, China, 30-day ban. It's basically totally shut everybody down as soon as you even mention anything about the China virus.
Just a couple of comments here. Jerry, I love you too, man, and much respect. And Jesse Lawless says, just like you, I said men are pigs on Facebook and got Facebook jail for a week. Dude, I'm telling you right now, it's crazy on like how quickly they react to it, because I've gotten banned already 5 times since the beginning of January, dude. You know, 5 times, bro.
If I start writing the C word, like I'm already banned if I start even writing the C word. Where my friends on the comment section they'll write it 50 times and they get no problems with it. But if I even think about it, then oh no, that can't happen.
Right. No, man, and it's getting out of control, man. It really is. The reason why Facebook banned for hateful behavior in my country. So I have a friend who's in the chat today, okay? And she is from Russia. And she then in return says that, it's crazy, the reasons in Russia why Facebook banned you.
Catherine?
Yes. Yeah, for the hateful
she's
behavior.
In Russia?
Yes.
What does she think about the Ukraine war right now? What does she think about it?
I don't know, Dark Wolf. How do you feel about it? It's crazy because I really can't.
I think it's a giant money laundering scheme.
It's crazy because I talked to another friend of hers too. They're really close. They're from. She's from Germany. Her name's Steph. She's not in here today, but it's crazy on what I have to go through for Steph in Germany to get something to Catherine in Russia.
I believe that.
All right,
totally believe that.
And because her birthday's coming up March 7th, I really can't say too much for those purposes. But, dude, I have to jump through loopholes because of the sanctions that are going on. So,
Yeah, I believe it. That's too bad.
And
I guess we're not going to get a chance to talk about the corona today. We only got a minute left, and Mr. B, his the gerbil must have died. That was running his computer today. So
yeah, right. What's going on over there with your technical difficulties?
Right, he's gone. I just want everyone to know I think the coronavirus was unleashed on us by China to get rid of the orange man. And no one will ever be held accountable for it. As much as we want people accountable, Fauci's not going to be accountable. You know what he's going to do? He's going to go buy an island, because that's how much money that fucking guy made off of telling us that, we're not allowed to do anything besides lock down and vaccinate.
And I will tell you, I wouldn't be surprised. All right, you guys really want to get sick about something, maybe not today or tomorrow or a month from now, but somewhere down the road. Do not be surprised if you hear a Fauci Day. And that there is going to make me sick to my fucking stomach.
I threw up in my mouth a little bit just when you said it.
Sorry, man, but yeah, I just wanted to, just warn you a little bit.
It's unbelievable. He'll never be held accountable. In Rand Paul the whole time, called him out on it all over the place. Every time Fauci had to get in front of Congress, Rand Paul is calling him out, and everyone's calling Rand Paul this giant piece of shit. And the whole time he's been right. The whole time he did the gain of function. He gave the money to him. He's making money off it. He's making money off of Moderna and Pfizer. He's making money hand over fist by telling. I couldn't believe that Trump went along with it as long as he did with Fauci. I couldn't believe it.
So, she's one of my favorite people. I'm actually a big fan of her. But this is what she says. It's a really complicated question.
I see it,
yeah. But obviously this is stemming back to.
I think we should stay out of it. I don't think we should have anything to do with it. That's between Ukraine used to be part of the USSR. I don't think he's the madman that everybody makes him out to be. I think he's a nationalist. Kind of like, I love my country. Why is it so shitty for him to love his country? He wants to put his country back how it was. As long I understand it's war, and I don't agree with the war. Of course, I'm more of a pacifist, but I'm a pacifist that has a whole lot of guns because I know how people are. I wish there wasn't war, but this is the world we live in, man. This is how things happen. They're always going to happen this way. It's amazing that we haven't already finalized all our borders, if you know what I mean. Like, it's 2023. You would think that the borders are what the borders are, but they're not. and they're going to change again. You know?
Yeah.
I believe Biden is retarded for supporting it as well. I think he's making a shit ton of money off it. I think there's plenty of Republicans making a shit ton of money off it. There's Democrats making a shit ton of money off it. We know that, you know.
Yep. But I just want to touch Dark Wolf real quick. The reason why I personally wanted to know your answer is because, and you didn't disappoint me, you basically just let me know that this issue that's going on is stemming back way back when. So obviously, you know, for us, and I gotta agree with our co-host over here, is that I think it's best that we, you know, just directly stay out of it, because obviously there's some shit that we don't know that was going on. You know what I mean? So that's not for us. That's not for us.
Yep.
Gentlemen, I thank you very much for your kindness and keeping things going. I have a technical difficulty. If anybody knows how to take and get the Norton out of a computer system, please help me.
Not me. You, like I told you, you're lucky I even got on a laptop today.
Yeah, I guess so. I appreciate very much everything that both of you have done, for your time, for your efforts, and for
I still have 2 more shows to do after this. So
wow. Yeah. I want to be in your life. Wow.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
That's what I mean. All right. Well, we're gonna need to wrap this up for the evening. Thank you very, very much, January, all the way from Winchendon, Massachusetts, also known as Scumberville. And Mr. Parsons, all the way down from Fall River, where they have the fishing is good down there. It's almost as good as the linguiça is. I want to say thank you all very, very much. This has been Poli-Ticking with Mr. B. We will be on again another Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Be here, enjoy it. If you got a subject you want us to tackle, please tell me about it. If you'd like to be a member of the regulars to come in and be on the panel, let us know, and we'll get you in, or I'll do the best I can to do that. I'm Mr. B. Thank you very much. Blaze, take it away, my friend.
Thank you, guys.
Hey, this is Jerry from the Neutral Corner on FFN Media. Every Thursday night, 7 to 8, catch my show live. We are talking with legends, we're talking with professionals, we're talking with amateurs, we're also talking about gyms and the different programs they have. You can catch us live on FFN Media, 7 to 8 p.m. Not only can you catch us live, you can actually ask questions in the comments and interact with our guests. Hope to see you then.
Hey guys, Nick Parsons here. Come check my show Unbox Thoughts out. Live every Monday from 7 to 8 p.m. on the FFN Radio Network page.
Why do you believe what you believe? Because at some point in your life, you trusted the information that somebody was giving you. And that someone you trusted told you that a car was a car, a tree was a tree, a bird was a bird, the blue stuff above you is the sky. And that's the way that we began to determine what we believe to be a fact. Most of the things that we believe to be a fact in our lives are told to us through our stories or the news that we hear. So my question would be, if they were deceiving you with the stories they tell you, would you be able to recognize that?
Now it's a car that they're just trying to keep on the track.